morning.
Hello, madam. How you doing?
Woo! I'm well.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Everything is wonderful.
Great. So I guess I need to click on this little link here.
What's that?
Am I clicking on this right now?
For what?
I see the flyer.
Oh, no. That's just the preview.
Okay.
That's just the preview while the people are coming online.
Okay.
Once I come on and do an introduction, and then at that point, if there's something that you want to share, you can go ahead and begin to share it then.
Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, this chair is too low. Good evening, Minister Byron.
How are you doing there, Dr. Gillis?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Ain't no need to complaining.
Amen.
Every
No
time
need.
I try to get the crown, they trick me and somebody got something worse than me.
Come on. I'm so happy that you are well.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Hello, my daughter, Michelle.
Hi, Mommy. I love you.
I love you right back.
My camera. Can you see me? Can you see me?
See your logo. I can. Oh, you're sitting. I see you now.
Of course, I'm got my camera off.
Huh?
But I didn't want to miss it.
You're breaking up, Michelle.
I'm gonna be on, but I'm gonna turn my camera off.
Okay.
But, because I'm ready for work, but I didn't want to miss this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Thursday night. You're working.
Yeah, but I set my alarm so I can wake up so I can at least listen to it.
Okay, it looks like I'm gonna be leaving right out of here and probably spending the night in Fort Pierce. So I'll see you tomorrow after you get in from work.
Oh, okay. Oh, when I come from the school.
Oh, you gonna be at the ceremony?
No. All right, I should be home. I know I gotta make a couple of stops, but I should be home by 4 at least.
This sounds great. Hi, Pastor Susie.
Hey, Pastor.
How are you?
Love you.
Love you too. I see my Jennifer and my Wanda. Hi.
Good morning. Good afternoon.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for supporting this amazing piece of work that my mentor, Dr. Lori, put in the earth, and making it culturally friendly has been a real beautiful experience. Long but beautiful.
All right. We want to thank everybody for joining us for our monthly emotional literacy ministry conversation. I want everybody that's watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, if you all could do me a favor and go ahead and share the post, I would be extremely appreciative. Again, those that are watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, go ahead and share the post and we'll be extremely appreciative. Welcome to our monthly conversation with our emotional literacy ministry, where we understand our emotions and we learn how to manage our emotions. I want to present to you Dr. Lena Gillis.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for supporting and logging in. It's a pleasure to see everybody. This is another amazing peace-filled experience, one that you will never forget. I can remember every single workshop I walked into. I never forgot a single one. And it's been a real honor and a pleasure for me to actually create it for my Black and brown people. So this curriculum is culture friendly. You'll see that there's a lot of caricatures so that you can relate and we can relate, because we need to learn to live independent of trauma. We are a culture that has trauma daily. Just living is a trauma. And so for us to live independent of those circumstances is vital, especially in this moment in time. It's more needed than ever. And now I'd like to introduce Pastor Ronald Rawls. I'm partnering with Greater Bethel AME Church in Gainesville now that I'm back home. And this is the pastor over the church. Wave at him, Pastor Ron. Pastor Ron. He is what I would call a multifaceted pastor. Not only is he in the Word of God, but he's in the crevices of our neighborhoods every single week, bringing those out of darkness with a team that's amazing. And so he has graciously allowed me to integrate this program, this project, as a part of the curriculum of the ministry. He has a platform that reaches the needs of every man everywhere. And these tools and skills do the same thing. I'm going to need every single moment, tonight, but I wanted to at least acknowledge him and let him know, because a few of you were asking me, who was that? And I realized we really didn't get a chance to integrate that in, but he has been really gracious, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So with that, I'm going to share my screen. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
I think I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. Okay. So tonight we're going to remember, first of all, let me just move this out of my way. I guess I every single time. Okay. Let me just formally welcome you back. It's been so good. This is our second session, session number 2. So welcome to session 2. It's, as I said before, it's going to be another peace-filled experience. A play on words, but I mean every single word of it. And last time we were together in session 1, I hope that if you didn't get a chance to be on the with us at the last class, that you got a chance to sneak on Facebook, somewhere in social media, so that you could get the introduction. If not, go back tonight sometime this week and look at the introduction, because of course I don't have time to go back through every single thing that we said. But I left you with something for you to think about, and that was your levels of learning. How many of you, and I can't really see you, so you can come off a mute and say me, got a chance to really comprehend and think about what level of learning that you are. Remember, we came in last week not knowing what we didn't know. Unconscious incompetence. It's impossible for us to know what we haven't been taught. But we learned a few things, and when you left last week, you were consciously incompetent still. That means we're going to continue to learn until we embrace every single lesson, and then you can continue to be subconsciously conscious, so that you can download. Practice, practice, practice is my mantra. Learn and relearn, learn and rehearse. That's how I teach. Everything is reinforcement over and over and over again, because I believe the more you say it, the more you write it down, the more attached it becomes to you. So the first question is, do you remember the levels of learning? I gave you a couple. They are unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, subconscious competence, and then conscience, conscience competence, which means, as we talked about last week, they say, let your conscience be your guide. And we decided last week, it can be your guide if it's healthy. And so these tools and skills are very, very healthy. So you can feel free to let them guide you as you embrace them for the rest of your days. Really, you can I'm using them every single day of my life. I'll always have an opportunity to use them. I really, really do. And the question is, do I have it perfect? No, I'm still a student. I'm still learning as well. But I had a little talk with the Lord about that, because I didn't feel that I was really ready to share these things. And he said, baby, before you're perfected in this, I'll be back. So just tell the people what you know. And so I really take joy in sharing and embracing how I have changed by being introduced to these tools and skills by Dr. Lori Gordon, in heaven today, but she's still my mom in this. So have you been practicing being aware of how you're expressing yourself, how your face is looking, how your voice is looking? Have you been in your home with your children, with your spouses, on your job, on the bus, wherever you are you taking the time to really experience what you've learned? Remember, what level are you on right now? Okay, so I'm going to remind you, here they are. Unconscious incompetence. I don't know what I don't know. Then we have conscious incompetence. I know now what I don't know. Then you're going to go into a subconscious competence, where you continue to practice and download everything you learn, repetition, practice, 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 into the downloads into your subconscious mind. That's called learning. It's called changing. In the body of Christ, it's called renewing your mind, right? And so then finally, as you embrace these and you learn them, not only do you know it, you do it. And then it becomes a way of life. That's your ultimate goal, is that it becomes a way of life for you. And that would be conscious, and this spelled C-O-N-S-C-I-E. It lets your conscious be your guide. That's what you live from. Right now, you're living from your conscious mind. Whatever you really believe is how you live. But sometimes what we believe is not healthy for us. So we want to change our belief system so that what we believe and live from helps and empowers us to be greater than we've ever been. Okay, so tonight's styles of communicating. And if you can, I don't know if you can see my backdrop, but if you can, I try to bring the poster in. When you walk into my vision that's not manifested yet, but it will be a museum. It'll be like a museum of emotional knowledge, where you'll see things hanging from the walls, from the ceilings. All these tools and skills are oversized caricatures, so that they hang and it'll be an impression for you. When you walk in the building, you get to see what we're teaching. Every single class, every single session has a prop or a help tool. And so now, our stress styles are placate, blame, compute, and distract. Now, of course, you didn't know that before I shared it with you right now, but stress styles are placate, blame, compute, and distract. Now, there are many other character flaws, but all of our character flaws kind of springboard from one of these 4 stress styles in trying situations, challenging situations. And then in session 2, we'll have a little role play. You haven't lived until you had role play face-to-face. And of course, because we're on Zoom, we can't do face-to-face, actually caricatures, but I'm going to give you an example at the end of this lesson, how it goes, and you're going to love it. And then after we understand the stress styles, we're going to move into eustress style. There is a healthy stress. It's called eustress, and that is when you allow the adrenaline that is a part of your biological makeup to empower you to get the job done. And I gave the example last week as we were closing. Sometimes when you see those football games, those basketball games, or whatever the challenge is, they hype themselves up. When they come out that, that huddle, they're hyped up. That is the eustress. That's that adrenaline flowing because they got a job to do. That is the kind of stress that helps us to reach our goals. That's the kind of stress. Eustress is a good stress. That's your adrenaline that helps you to promote yourself to the next level, the next dimension of living. And then, of course, there'll be role play for that too. But if we won't be doing that, I'm going to give you homework. I shouldn't say homework, life work. I'm going to give you life work with your role play for that style. So when we get there, you'll see it. Let me see if I can move me up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So here are the caricatures right here. The distractor is the person that is ready for a good time all the time. Then we have the blamer right across from the distractor, who is the person that is, it's never their fault. There's always a way that it's someone else's fault. The placator is always my fault. This is the one that is the victim all the time. And then I have the computer. I'm hoping that you all can see this. Let me see here. And the computer is the one that calculates. That's the intelligent one, the one that always has an answer, a formula, a scripture, some kind of stat to make his point or her point. And so we're going to be studying these in detail. The 4 stressful styles of communicating, we said they are the blamer, the placator, the distractor, and the computer. A part of learning to communicate clearer is actually understanding what not to do in challenging times, what not to say when things get complicated. It is actually practicing or learning, challenging yourself to express yourself in a manner that other people can actually hear you. They can listen to what you're saying, not just listen, not just hear you, but listen to you. A lot of times we are being heard, but we're not being listened to because the noise is too loud. What you're saying is too abstract for me to listen to understand you. But we want to learn how to speak so that those who are listening want to understand what we're saying. They want to, at the end of the conversation, appreciate you. So this manner includes the tone of your voice, your facial expressions, and the choice of your words. Now, reinforcement, it is practicing to express yourself in a manner the other person will be able to listen to, understand, and appreciate you. It has everything to do with when you're listening, your tone of voice, your facial expressions, and your choices of words. I'm gonna see if you can help me let me see if I can put myself like this. Okay, there we go. Now, so in this session, you will find that I will repeat It's going to be very, very repetitive so that when you walk away from me, if you're not taking notes, I'm hoping you're taking notes, but if you're not, you will still have an indentation of what I have said to you today. In this session, you will learn how to identify those 4 stressful styles of communicating: the blamer, the distractor, the computer, and the placator. When we are in stressful situations, the use of one or more of these styles can become more of an issue than what the issue is. See, it's not that you're late, it's how you coming at me when I tell you you're late. So now it's not that you're late, which is an issue, but how you coming at me is more of an issue than the issue that you're late. So that causes friction and causes the relationship to get into pain, sometimes break down, sometimes irreconcilable. It starts small, but it can mushroom and grow into something much larger. Okay? So stressful styles, we're going to go right into it again, reinforcing. A part of learning, I'm going to add a little something to communicate clearer. And if you want to say it with me, that would be great, is actually understanding what not to do and what not to say. I can remember my grandmother used to say, just hush, stop and zip it. Sometimes we just have to stop and zip it. Just say nothing. It is really, really important for us to practice, to express ourselves in ways that people who are listening to us can hear us, that hearing us can listen to, appreciate us. The way of speaking includes your tone of voice, your facial expression, choosing your words with care. Have you ever been talking to someone and they're like, oh, all of that is not empathic. That is actually communicating with your expressions. Choosing your words carefully is important as well. In this lesson, again, you're going to learn how to identify these stress styles in your home, on your job, at Walmart, in Publix, in the movies. You'll be able to see and recognize and say, okay, that's a blamer right there. Oh, that's a distractor. These are stressful styles of communicating. Stressful. These 4 keep the relationship stressed out. Keeps your relationship on the pain side of life. Keeps your relationship in trouble. When we are in constant stressful situations, it is easy to develop these patterns of communication. And it's very hard for others to hear you, especially those who live in your home. So constant use of these styles may eventually ward off your friends, your family, your boss, your co-workers. You'll ward them off. They won't want to be around you anymore. And they become your opponents, your enemy almost sometimes. So this is very important for us lifestyle everywhere. They work in every man's world, everywhere, every day. Remember, these defensive styles of communicating can become the bigger problem than the issue being discussed. In order to build and sustain healthy relationships, recognizing these patterns is vital. It's very important. When I say vital, that means it's life-giving. The vital signs in your body are your life-giving signs. When you can identify these kinds of communication skills, it brings life. It gives vitality to your relationships. And that's what you want to live in a relationship that's vitally healthy. So as we go forward, I want you to take out your little magnifying glass and we look at these styles, and I want you to be a detective on your own behalf. I want you to consider whatever style I'm talking about, is that for me or not? Is that for me? Oh, I think that is my uncle. Consider the ones that you've experienced from other people, maybe on your job, maybe in the stores, when somebody loses it in the grocery line, okay? Consider the feelings you have about each style. How do you feel about them? Especially when you can see that you're connected to one of them, or you've been actually living in one of them. How do you feel about that? And then consider if the styles keep your relationships. It doesn't have to be in your home, any relationship. How's it working for you? When you do that, how's it working for you? When you express yourself in a stressful way, does that bring calm? Or does it disconnect? Do you go to your corners? Are you stressed out? Okay. The placator, you can see the caricature that I chose to create. and is a great big old doormat right at the door, because that's where she is, or that's where he is. And the placater is I call her the dependent people pleaser, the yes syrupy yes person. Everything is yes, okay, whatever you want, and then we're going to find out why. Now, so the placater tends to be taken for granted, and often will say things like this. She's taken for granted because she is the victim. She plays the victim. And she'll say things like this: oh, honey, okay, boss, okay, sister, okay, brother, okay, it's whatever you want. Don't worry about whatever you want. Because without you, I can't go on. I almost chose a woman or a man leaving the building, leaving the home, and the woman at the hanging on to the ankle said, "Don't leave me." That's the placater. If don't leave me, I can't live without you. That's the placater, the one that has no confidence in being able to make it in life unless she has something or someone to lean on. She believes don't make waves, but just don't rock the boat. Don't make your boss mad. Don't make your dad, your mom mad. Don't make your sister mad. That's the placater, always working for peace, but at her own expense. She'll say things like, never mind about me. You just make sure you're good. I'll be okay. That's the placater, always a victim to her own hurt. She is a people pleaser, but this is her attitude. I feel like nothing without you. Now, I added you because that's what we normally say. I feel like nothing without you. But it could be, I feel like nothing without my cigarette. I'll please a cigarette at my own expense. I gotta have that nails done. I can't live without my eyelashes. So these things, anything that you put your pleasure in instead of taking care of yourself becomes an enemy to your vitality of life. Without you, I'm worthless. The placater is often scared, though. Many times you'll find that placaters have been abused. Once you begin to look at their history and you look back at their life and you walk through it with them, they have been abused. And so they have a very, very low self-esteem. And so they feel like they have to hold on to something and not to hurt them, not to hurt themselves. The way this is their mantra, their principal life. I counsel out myself. I cancel out all of my needs to preserve this relationship. Haven't you heard people say, I can't believe how you stand in that relationship. You didn't let this person just walk off on you. Well, that's because that person is a placater, has no ability within their own strength. But once they learn that they are a placater, then we're going to show them how to come out of that place. The symbol, I say again, is a doormat and may allow people to walk over them. That person is apologetic always. I'm sorry, even when they're not right, not wrong. Okay, I'll just take the blame. I'm sorry, please forgive me. They're weak, clutching, just everywhere I go, you're just clutching on me. You're just too much of you're just a worrywart, and you're the victim. And that's the extreme, though. When a person has lived as a placater and been abused, the way this is like the way I've described, that person can end up going into states of levels of depression. When you see people go into depression, they have migraine headaches, they can't stand the light. It's because they have taken too much responsibility on their own self-esteem. And so they have to bury themselves in the dark sometimes in depression. And so we want to make sure that they come out of that place. Next is our blamer. I call it
Dr. Gillis.
The blamer. Yes, sir.
And with the placater, are there any strengths or positives in that style of communication, or does the whole thing need to be kind of rooted out like a cancer?
You have to wait.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's good. Okay. So the blamer As a matter of fact, can you see what I have back here? You see can you see my worm? Can you see him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I have that in the room because every time we do this, sometimes you just need a soft place to land. I can remember the first time I went to this workshop, I'm like, I've been every single one of these. And so in the room they had soft little teeny animals where you could just hold them and caress yourself, because this is very, very brash and bold to describe you in such a way. But yes, it's always a happy ending in my teachings, always a happy ending, okay? The blamer may control, nitpick, criticize, use sarcasms, and or speak in sweeping blaming generalization. What do you mean by that, Dr. Gill? They say you're always late. Every single day you late. No, you ain't no good. I mean, no good. I mean, come on down. Sweeping generalization. You never, always. They may express themselves that way. And so they do say that. You never do anything right. They may say that, but I mean, nothing right? See, that's a sweeping, I mean, I don't do nothing. If it weren't for you, everything would be fine. That's that blamer. You're so stupid, you're sick, you make me crazy, you're evil. These are they name, I call it the dirty dozen. They'll call you names. They'll even use profanity when they're talking to you. You call you to all those words that you don't want to hear. You're always wrong. You're incompetent. When are you going to learn? Now you do this every single time. That's the description of a blamer. Okay. And then you're just like and then I name, because this is what we hear, because this blamer always wants to find someone they feel are imperfect. And then they want to measure you against someone that that people don't think are perfect. So when I was a little girl, they say, you're no good daddy. I'm like, he ain't no good. So, that's a sweeping generalization, because no one is no good. Okay. So inside the blamer, they may feel lonely though. They may have that hard shell, but inside they probably feel unloved and they don't know how to get what they're looking for. The blamers are often angry because they may have a history behind them of disappointments. And so they anticipate not getting what they want, including your approval. You're supposed to love me. So guess what I do? My principle is this. If there is a problem that's threatening the situation, this is what a blamer will do. I'm going to get you before you get me. The best defense is a good offense. Or I'm going to demolish the other person before they can demolish me. So that person is always on the offense, always trying to protect themselves in a way that's unhealthy for any relationship. Their speech and body language is often very sharp. I mean, this is exactly the way why I chose the hand, because we have some blamers who will actually put their finger on your nose when they're talking, put your finger in your face when they're talking. We're, real sharp and dictatorial. So when you see that kind of a expression, that person is a blamer. They may not know it, but maybe they're hurt and they need love. That's probably what they need, all right? So they can be controlling, disagreeable, sarcastic, obnoxious, hostile, tyrannical, nagging, nitpicking, fault-finding. But if they stay in that vein long enough, they may grow into a place where they begin to be paranoid, like everybody out to get them, and then they become violent. This is how relationships become volatile, where they will actually put hands on you and strike you when you don't do what they say. That is a blamer. Okay, the next one is my computer, the analyzer. The computer is that person I call cool, super cool. They all cool. I call them cool daddies, cool mommies. They're collected. They're super reasonable. They choose their words carefully. They use abstract words like, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, something that you would not even know to say. And they expect you to perform according to what they think you should be able to do. You should be able to do that. They avoid admitting when they're wrong, making mistakes. They deny their own feelings. They tend to cite facts, statistics, the authorities, tradition, and they'll even say things like this. Upset? Not me. I'm too cool. You can't get me upset. No. No matter what you do, baby, I'm cool. I'm fine. Well, you can look in their faces and tell they're not, but they're going to say that out of their mouths. Everybody knows that. The computer thinks that everyone should be on the same wavelength they're on. So if you don't know that something is wrong with you, obviously, you mean you don't know that? Everybody knows this. You're always a reflection of their own intelligence portrayed or displaced onto you to make you feel inferior, because they inside don't want to be weak. They don't want to be vulnerable. The computer may reject any expression of emotion from themselves or anybody else. When you see a computer, sometimes you start crying, they walk away. I ain't got time for the tears. We don't have time to cry. Let's just get it done. 2 + 2 is 4. That's all. Let's just get it done. Let's get to 4. We don't have to waste our time on emotions. The principle inside, given a problem or stress, the only thing to do is get the solution. Find an authority on it. Law, school, religion, I don't care what it is. Role expectations. Let's find the facts and apply that to it and just stop this other stuff. This other, you don't have to go through all this emotional stuff. You can't get me if I don't show, if I'm not vulnerable. That's their motto. You can't get me if I don't show you I'm weak. I'll never be weak. The computer is never going to be weak. You can't see me cry. I'm not going to cry. That's just not something I'm going to do. And if you think about it historically, our African-American men are trained to be this way. Suck it up. Go on about your business. It'll be over. It'll be all right. It's all right. Just get over it, you know? So the computer I chose, but I could have chosen a turtle. I was even thinking about the armadillo, but then I thought about the actual robotish kind of a feel. So I came up with my graphic artist, this caricature of a computer with a brain that's a human being. And now this amazing person can be self-righteous. I have righteous, but it's really self-righteous, rigid, they're cold, they're objective, legalistic, principled, obsessive, they're militaristic. I mean, the children are like little soldiers if they have children sometimes. This can be men or women now. This is not a gender. We're talking about a character. Insensitive, unfeeling. They lack sympathy or compassion. Just let's leave that out of the equation. Let's just get the job done, you know? All right. And then finally, we have our distractor. This is my dancing disco distractor. As you can see, I chose a jester because the jester is created to make you laugh, created to bring the light into the room that's a false narrative that makes you laugh and forget reality. So the distractor is exactly that. That person can be talkative, irrelevant, hyper, always unfocused. I mean, just out in left field somewhere. The distractor may avoid eye contact directly, and they will not answer questions if they know that they are not, if they're guilty or they don't have an answer, they'll just quickly change the subject and ignore the point that's being discussed. I love this person because I'm telling you, I really believe that happy hour in every nation, at whatever that is full of distractors, trying to get away from reality and just trying to have some fun for a moment. So they will deflect. That means go away from what is important. They'll say, you know, this is their thought process. What problem? Just because they got a light bill due don't mean it, and it's due tomorrow. That's not a problem. Hey, okay, I'm going to the club. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get my suit. I'm going to do something else. That is how a distractor thinks. They want to go do something else. Let's get drunk. Let's go to the movies. Let's get high. Anything. It's a party animal. You know, we all go through that stage when we're growing up where we got Saturday night. Yeah, you know, it's all right. It's all right. But, you know, by the time you get to about 21, you grow out of that, you know? But for the distractor, you could be 60-year-old. They're still in the club. Hey, you know, that means they have not gotten over that hump in life of being the life of the party. Okay, let's go on. I've got to have it. Whatever they see they want, even though the things they need to do to take care of their life, it'll go secondary, but primarily is what they want. What's going to make them feel like they're, you know, doing something good. Okay, this is nothing wrong. Okay, inside though, that distractor feels frightened because they really don't know what to do. They're confused, distrustful. They may not be as sharp as they want to be about life. And so they really don't know how to navigate life. They don't know how to really keep a budget. They don't know how to do these things. And so instead of submitting somewhere to learn it, they may not have been approached to do that. They ignore the problem and just think, well, maybe it'll just go away by itself. You know, somebody come and bail me out. You know, you have people that are in cycles that, you know, they're going to come around every 6 months. Hey, man, you got $10. Hey, sister, can I, you know, there is going to be a cycle because they haven't learned, and we have to help them not to, we cannot enable them. This is the kind of lesson they need to have, to know. Okay. They hide behind an invisible mask. I sing a song. Are you raining on the inside? Does your heart well up with tears, but your face looks like everything is okay, but in the inside you're raining, you're hurting? That's that distractor. She on the outside she's like she's well put together, but I'm telling you at night she's boohooing. Okay, so she's erratic, she's inappropriate, she's talkative, she's hyperactive, purposeless, and at the extreme unfocused and out of touch with reality. All right, so if we were in a room together right now, we would actually take on the characteristics. I would have shown you the body language and all of that, you know, how that the blame will put their finger in your face. So that's the kind of posture you would have. And that, you know, the placators, oh, she's on her knees, please don't leave me, that kind of character. So it could be hilarious when we get into these characters in a workshop, and they're going to be happening soon. I'm going to do a semester seminars. So look forward to being in person so we can actually do little plays. The skits is what I call them, and bring it to life. It's really amazing. So, but you know, so tonight what we're going to do, because this was always hilarious, when if you're taking a road trip, just go with me. If you're taking a road trip and you got the placator, who's the one that's, oh, please don't leave me, driving, and you have the other three in the car with you. You have a half a tank of gas and you're going to go somewhere. And so the computer says, okay, we got this many miles to go, we have this much gas, this much gas, yes, we can make it. All right. So, but instead of all that happening, there's an accident. And so you're having to reroute, which uses up the gas. What do you think happens in the car with all of those characters going on? Can't you hear, you know, the placator saying, oh, it's all my fault. I should have just got gas before we left, and you would have enough gas right now. And the blamer said, well, I told you, it's not my fault. I tried to give it a calculation. Now, so this is it. And then, of course, all the other one, the distraction said, well, okay, well, since we lost, since we out of gas and we got to reroute. Oh, I see a club. Let's stop that for a little bit. Let's get some drink, you know. So all those kind of things go into play. And it's just a really fun time where you come off of this in your face kind of a reality check. And then you end it with something that's hilarious, that you all get a chance to play somebody else other than you. So if we would do that, then you would think, and I just want you to think about what you've heard already. How do you feel personally about what I've described? How do you, if you were the placator, how would you feel? Just, I don't want you to answer. You just want you to just think about it in your mind. When we're together, face to face, how do you know anyone who uses any of these styles? Are they on your job or in your house? Are they in the mall? Which style would you typically use? Did you locate yourself? Did you see yourself? Do you recognize more than one style for yourself or for someone else? Like I said, okay, between my years of living, I think I tried them all, you know, and none of them worked for a healthy relationship. None of those stressful styles. Take a moment, woosah. Because here is the good news. I've got good news. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. So you may have located yourself and you're like, oh my goodness, because that's how I felt. That is me. Jesus, help me. I'm like, that is me. But every single stressful style of communicating has a hidden strength. There you go, Pastor. Every single one has strength. And the strength is revealed when that person learns how to speak and talk with each other empathically. Empathic dialogue. What does that mean? I think I introduced that word to you all before. Empathy means, unlike compassion, which means I see you and I feel sorry for you. Compassion, I'm sorry that it happened to you. But empathy means I actually can see myself in your position, and I would probably feel the same way. This is the only way that you can break the pattern of stressful styles of communication. You have to become empathic toward the other person and see what they're going through, what they have gone through to make them who they are today. Now, so empathic dialogue defined is this. We've talked about it earlier. It is the tone of your voice, the expression that is on your face, and the words that you choose to speak. Your tone, your expression, and your words have to agree with whatever you are feeling inside.
Mhm.
As I said before, when you are empathic, shared meaning, you actually can see the person's face and they can see yours. And because you can see their face and they can see yours, you cannot hide because your eyes are the windows of your soul. So even though you're saying, I'm fine, the expression on your face is not in agreement with what you said. The words coming out of your mouth is not in agreement with what you said. So empathy, empathic, shared meaning is the goal. Empathic dialogue develops inner strength. It's like the word of God. You know, the word of God, you don't know how it works, but it works. Oh, excuse me. What's going on my lips? The word does the work. It's like a seed. The word is a seed. Empathic dialogue is like a seed. When you put the seed in the ground does the work.
Right.
You don't do the work. The ground does the work. When you put the word of God inside of you, the word does the work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put this information and you begin to put it into your existence, it will change you. You'll be strong enough to say what you want. You'll ask for what you want. You'll be strong enough to be caring and considerate of others. We're talking about the characters, the stressful styles right now. Ask for what you want. That's that blamer. Everything I want. I mean, you the reason. Okay, caring and considerate, placator. Stay focused on the problem. Distractor. Take time off of on the computer. When you develop these 4 things, you dispel all the other kinds of stressful styles. Can you see how that makes you a whole individual? So now I'm going to ask you to help me to come off of mute and help me to recognize these trends, okay? These styles. This person has the capacity to be assertive, speak on his own behalf or her own behalf without demolishing the other person. This is the strength of which character that's stressful, do you think? You can come off mute, somebody tell me. Okay. No answer? Okay. There's no wrong answer. That would be the blamer.
That's right.
The blamer, even though, you know, that person is the tyrant sometimes, but they have the ability. This is your leader right here. This is a leader, but a leader who has not used that talent and ability in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
They can be assertive and they can speak on their own behalf without demolishing somebody else. They can say it without, you know, tearing you down to pieces. All right. They can lead without tearing each other down. The next person has the capacity to be sensitive, loving, caring, and have empathy for others, but not out of fear, but because they want other people happy. Have you ever seen people just want to see other people happy? That is this one.
Is that the placator?
Yeah, somebody, thank you. That's the placator. Yeah, exactly. She in her heart, she just wants everything to be right. She just wants everybody to be happy, everybody get along. But somehow out of her history in her life, something has distorted her perception and she's become a doormat instead, where she just let everybody be happy and she be unhappy all the time. Now the next one has the ability to analyze, problem solve, and plan while taking into consideration both their own and others' feelings. Which one do you think that one is?
Computer.
You got
Computer.
it. Absolutely. This is the strength of the computer.
Yeah.
You're smart. You're smart. You ain't got to prove it. You know how to problem solve. You can work this thing. You can work a plan. You can run a house. You can run a business. That's you. But you don't have to, be unfeeling. Consider everybody there. Everybody's feelings when you talk. Everybody know that. I mean, that's not a good thing to say. You dumb. You don't know that. Everybody was okay. Now this one is the last one. This stressful style has the capacity to have fun and the ability to balance pleasure and responsibility. They can say, I'm not going to deal with that right now because I want to enjoy myself. I can deal with it tomorrow. But then when tomorrow comes, they got to keep their promise. Which one do you think that one is?
The laptop.
This distractor.
The distractor. Yeah,
the distraction. My bad.
Exactly, Mr. Ryan. That distractor is that person that wants to party all the time. But guess what? It's okay. Once in a while, not every day. Not at the extent of you're living to the point where you don't even take care of your bills. Okay, let me go on here. Now, so the last one that I want to present to you, and we'll do it really, really quickly, is so easy. This is the opposite of all the rest. I've already explained to you, the eustress style of communicating uses that adrenaline that's in your physical body. It's a part of you. It's like your eyes, your ears. It's when there's a challenge the adrenaline begins to flow. Ooh, wow! You get revved up about it. This kind of style works best when you level and are congruent. What does that mean, Dr. Gillis? I'm going to show you in just a minute. Leveling and congruent. This is a picture of leveling and congruent. In a relationship, there comes a time when you have to sit down face to face. You can't talk while you're cooking the chicken. You can't talk while you're changing the tire in the garage. You can't holler from the, hey, so Joe, bring me Joe. Where you go? I'm going to the mall. While you're leaving out the door, all those things are okay in their place. But there comes a time when you have situations, issues on the table in a relationship where you just got to stop the world. And you got to sit down and look eyeball to eyeball. That's called leveling. Mm-hmm. It's called congruent. I can see you, you can see me. Not only can I see you, I can feel you. See? Your energy. I can sense, I can look into your eyes and see if there's a tears welling up. Sometimes we don't look at each other close enough. If we could really just stop to do this sometime, we would have much healthier relationships. So the leveler says things like this. I can say how things are for me without blaming. Now, the reason I'm reading these because I want you to listen. Because this week, I want you to practice being a leveler. If you've never been a leveler before, you're going to stop the world at some point and you're going to level. And you're going to say how things are for you, but you're going to do it without blaming. You're going to say, I hurt when I see the time comes and you're not here. I worry. And it makes me feel sad. Without blame. David again, you make me sick. I can't stand you. That's not leveling. That's more like blaming, right? That's a stressful style of communication. So listen to these very, very carefully. Now, okay, I need to say the next one, please. I can be sensitive and caring without placating. That means you can hug your babies, your husband. Sometimes we get so intense with what we're doing when our children come up to us. We go play somewhere. We're going to take the time to be sensitive because when your child comes to you, guess what? They need you. And if you really think about it, I say this all the time, even in church. The baby, when they're crying in church, they just need about 5 minutes. That's it. Take them to the back of church, let them walk around 5 minutes. So they're going to hush. They only want that. They need that bonding moment. When your child comes to you, they need that caring moment. When your spouse comes to you, when your boss comes to you, when your peer comes to you, they need that. They need you to give them that. I can use my intelligence and my feelings to keep pleasure in our relationship. That means even though I'm a workaholic and I'm running the thing, when my child said, Daddy, would you come and play with me a little bit? Say, even if you don't have a half hour, I got 10 minutes, I got 5 minutes, let me give you 5 minutes. That's called leveling. That's called congruent lifestyle of living communication. Always consider the pleasure of the relationship as well. I can take a break from working on the relationship and have fun and find humor with you. We ain't got to always be serious. We know we can actually have some fun sometimes. Let's do something fun. This is what you're going to be thinking about this week. If you have not done these things, think about taking a moment this week and just one of them. You don't have to do them all. Choose the one you want to do. And just say, I'm going to do that one. Okay? I will tell you what I think and feel without blaming or placating, without denying my feelings or yours, and without ignoring the problem. So as you, instead of saying, I'm not angry, say, you know, I'm angry. But I'm not going to blame anybody. I just want you to know how my feelings are. I'm really angry, and this is why I'm angry. But, you know, just pray for me. Hug me, hold me, bond with me. Give me a moment, all right? Mm-hmm. The next one is, I will invite you to do the same. You want to, if you want to, if somebody in your sphere of influence, they need to do something like this, you can see that they're troubled, they're stressed out. Why don't you just invite them to do it? Yes. My behavior and response reveal that I'm thinking and feeling. I will not wear a mask. I won't wear a mask. I won't hide behind a smile, a gaze look, a blank or icy stare. I will not display indifference. Okay, so this week, you will not display indifference. That means, I don't care about what they think. Good fun. You shouldn't have done that to me. Instead of letting that come out, because it's going to come. What everything you have been is going. You're going to have this week. You're going to have the opportunity to do something different. And I'm going to ask you this week, for me, don't do what you normally do, which is stresses yourself out and stresses everybody else out. Do one of these and bring a calm. Be leveling and congruent. Now, also, too, I want to show you this. The leveler believes. I went real fast. Too bad. People can grow. They can be intimate. They can be competent. They can make sense. They can stand on their own 2 feet, and they can make choices for themselves. The leveler, that person that I just described to you, the congruent, is a believer. See? Many times in relationships, we don't believe in another person. Oh, you'll never get better. You've been a drunk ever since I've known him. Child, please. Your dog, you're just a bow wow. Oh, she's just a trollop. You know, no. The leveler believes, just like God believes, that people can change. Because guess what? They can. They can change. With these Susan skills, I've changed. I have seen many people change. The leveler is a believer, and the leveler is mature. Once you get to be a leveler, you are a mature human being in the practical way of living. Why am I saying that to you tonight? Because we know this is a church that we're talking about. So, and most of us are believers. We know that in this world, we have a mandate, and that is dominate the thing. See? Dominate the thing. When you're not a believer, the Lord says, come out of the world. But once you become a disciple, he said, go into the world, right? Go in. Wait a minute. Well, you want me out or you want me in? Which one? I don't want you in the world if you're a baby in Christ. If you just got to say, stay your butt home somewhere. But if you're a believer and you're a strong believer and you're a disciple of the Lord, go into the world and do what I did for you, right? So this leveler is that person that is mature like that, going. So that's what we all want to be. We want to make an impact on every relationship that we have. Leave it standing and leave it better. When you think about leveling, I think about a carpenter. I don't know about you, but I see this. You know what carpenters and levelers, it helps you to build. So when you become a leveler, it helps you to build your relationship. It's like building a house. You're building a healthy structure that when the winds and the storms of life come, it will not fall. Leveling is a family affair. This is a leveling. We don't do this much anymore, but even if you don't have dinner, just take time to drink your tea together for about 10 minutes and look at each other, smell each other, you know, see what's going on. Now for role play, we're not going to do role play because what I'm asking you to do this week is your role play, all right? But you're going to be able to ask and have fun. So now, after you've done this week, when you come back the next session next month, I'm going to ask you the questions behind this. How did you feel when you were leveling in congruence, when you're being empathic, when you're speaking? Try to write it down so that when you come next time, we can communicate. Just remember, the mantra is practice, practice, and practice some more. I pray that you hear me in your sleep. I'll play out when you turn over, you hear me saying practice, practice, and practice some more, because practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. This ends our session number 2. Next month, July 1, I hope to see you again. We'll be talking about the emotional part of feelings. And if you want to know how that's going to look, it's going to look just like that. If you were a pot, this is how your life experiences may look in a frame. We're going to take it apart, talk about it, and help you to empty your pot next week, next month. So healthy heart and soul is the goal. Always my goal. Healthy heart and soul. Be peace-filled. And I look forward to seeing you at our next session. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Perfect. Wonderful. Let's give Dr. Gillis a hand raising.
Yeah.
Wonderful job. And so, and remember, this does us no good unless we implement it, apply it, and so I can stare at books. Until I become literate, I just holding on to a book or putting a book on my shelf is nothing. And so she's teaching us how to be literate as it relates to our emotions, but we have to go and practice. And so be sure that we put that practice in and be able to come back next month and share that, you know what, I tried this and I see it, or it didn't work, or it did work, but put it to practice so that we can become better as people, the people that God created us to be. Want to encourage want to encourage someone that, just like with all of our other ministries, the financial wellness, the mental health, the dental academy, what we do here is just we're introducing, but there are opportunities. If you own a business, if you have a staff, if you're a part of an organization and you want to improve upon the emotional literacy of the group, organization, or corporation that you're a part of, pinned to the top of the comments, you'll always see the contact information for Dr. Gillis. And so we appreciate this, but this right here is an introduction. This is 101. But if you'd like to go into detail to strengthen your corporation, your organization, your agency, or any group that you're a part of, or personal, reach out to her through her contact information that's pinned to the top of the comments. And we thank you so much. So thank everybody for coming. We'll see you on the first Thursday of July. Dr. Gillis, we enjoyed it. You all have a wonderful week. And do me a favor. Do something that makes God proud to be called your father. Have a great one.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
And Pastor, if you all want to debrief at any point, like, just let me hear from you. If you want to have a time just to talk about what you're learning, because we only have time for me to present and not to really interact, but I would be honored to help you along with that. So thank you again for your support. Live in peace.
All right. Take care.
Good night.
Wow.
Good night, everybody.
Good God Almighty.